All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Aaron Yoon coming at you from New York City again. Today we are continuing our series on monitoring and relaying real life day trading results that I've been taking every day this week. And today, I got to be honest with you right off the bat, I got to tell you, I was not very happy. And one of the, for anyone just joining us, for the first time, this series is more about what I believe is not talked about enough when it comes to day trading or trading in general, which is the emotional and mental aspect of the system. So much of what we talk about is just relying upon these charts, and so many traders think that as long as I can nail the charts and read them really uh, really accurately, then I'll be set and I'm going to be a trading millionaire, before you even know it. And that's just that's just sadly not the case. And I've one of the things that I've decided to do in this channel is to indicate how much of the trading is actually most of trading is actually mental and emotional. So what I've dedicated myself to do here is to take to use a daily breakout trading system that is designed to keep the trading rules super simple and easy to follow, and discuss more of the mental and emotional aspect of things that makes this very challenging. And so that's my dedication here to you. And first, I'm going to start off with the S&P, which I looked at was the best trending type of index for the week. But today there was no real trend. It was just a really choppy trend. And I don't know. Wait, why am I not seeing? Hold on a sec. Show executions. Okay, I don't know why I'm not seeing the executions here. I'm seeing it on the Nasdaq. I am not seeing it on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Maybe I'm just blind. Okay. So let's go over the opening breakout trade. If you're just joining us, the system is this: the opening 15-minute candle of the of any of the indexes is what I'm going to be using to either take a breakout trade above or below. So that's indicated by the purple lines here. So this was the 9:30 candle. As you can see, big movement here. It's about a 16 point ish, right? Not exactly 16, a tick under 16. 16 points of range on this candle right here, right? The high was this purple line, the low was this purple line. So what I'm looking for, assuming that you only see this candle and nothing else, I'm looking for, if it breaks above this purple line, I want to buy it, and if it breaks below this purple line, I want to sell it. The problem here is that even going into this trade, there was two things that was really bothering me. First is that this was a very range bound type of situation, where even if I go to the hourly chart, you can see that there wasn't really much of a trend here, right? It's very sideways, and so I don't really like trading in a sideways kind of environment. If you zoom out a little bit more, it seems to be in like an uptrend, bouncing off of this 29.25 here, but that's going back a couple of days, and it seems like it's a really big recovery, right? But more recently, it's been very range bound, as you can see, right? If we were to take a look at the daily, it's always good to keep in mind the larger time frames. We had a really nasty day last week. This hurt a lot of people. This worried people, thinking that, oh my God, is there a second crash coming, and whatnot. This was Friday of last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, last Thursday rather. And since then, it's just been kind of like a recovery. We haven't really recovered fully, but it's just been kind of just bouncing around inside of the range of last Thursday's nasty correction. So what I was, and this week has been no different. And so what I've been looking at to take is like, understanding that I am not that confident in the breakout trades, but I take them anyway to even though they're lower probability trades, I'm taking them anyway for two reasons. One, I want to practice consistency despite how I'm feeling. If I only trade based on feeling and instinct, that's a surefire way for me to start gambling more than actually trading. So that's reason number one. And reason number two is that it's to practice consistency in something, right? Just to practice not messing with my trade. So it might cost me a little bit of money. You could definitely argue that I would be better off practicing something like this in simulation mode, but without real money at stake, you don't practice the emotional and mental component of this kind of stuff. So absolutely, to me, this is a really, really important lesson for me to practice myself. So and I'm using it also as content for this channel. So if you are interested in that, then you get to watch me take this journey. But if you want, and again, I'm not any kind of advisor or anything like that. I'm not going to recommend anything to you. But if you want, you can jump on the train with me and feel what it's like mentally, hopefully only with money that you can spare, not with your money that you're using to pay bills or like your mortgage or your rent or something like that. Hopefully this is just something that you can get a taste of with spare money. All that being said, let's get back into the breakout trade for today. We're looking at this purple line and this purple line. It broke above, and you can see that it was just chopping up and down. And I can tell you, just to give you an idea of what I was feeling throughout the day, right away in the first few, in the first hour or two, I'm like, all right, we're looking. I'm aiming for this this purple line up here. And the reason for that I just kind of guesstimated where it would be, where a 1-to-1 ratio would be. It's a little bit more than a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's just, I just put my target up there. It was a little bit arbitrary. It wasn't precise, but I'm not trying to be precise. I'm trying to be consistent. For some reason, I mistakenly took. If you see these two arrows, I took two contracts, and they both triggered. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it. But I was a little bit apprehensive about the amount of risk that I was taking, because this is a 16-point risk, give or take, and I wasn't really happy with that. And so considering also that I basically had no trend. Trend was not helping me at all. And I didn't really have, this was a 2-to-1. I just eyeballed it, right? A 2-to-1 target was way beyond the previous pivot high here. And I was like, honestly, with this kind of a risk, I don't even think I'm going to get a 2-to-1 here. This is where I really wanted to change up the rules of my system and take take a smaller level than the full range of the 15-minute candle. But this week I committed to taking the 15-minute candle in its entirety, and it was still within just about the limits of what I was willing to risk, which was a 16-point level. So this is more of an exercise in my ability to take a trade and follow the system regardless of how I was feeling about it. And that's what I was practicing mentally. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is a surefire win trade. None of these breakout trades, let me just be super clear, breakout trades to begin with are more of a coin flip kind of probability it's more 50-50 than it is like high probability where, you know, where you're taking it off of a sell area where there's a higher probability that it's going to bounce from. I wasn't my second target, my 2-to-1 profit zone was going to be all the way up here, where it's like it's just there's just too much in my way to I would have to break this pivot. I would have to break this pivot high to even catch the first target, and then I would have to break 2 more pivot highs to catch my second target. Looking at that, I was like very, very unconfident, if that's a word. I was very I was not very confident in the trade at all, but it was more of a mental exercise to be like, all right, you know what, I'm going to take it and I'm going to do my best to manage it. So I took the trade, and, you know, the first hour or so, the first hour or two of the day is just like, hey, it looks, I feel pretty good about it, and then I feel terrible about it right here, where I'm negative here. I'm not stopped out, right? It never really actually stopped me out, but here again, I'm positive, then I'm negative. Like, this whole day was just a test of my emotional and mental endurance. And as you can see right now, this is right now it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 p.m. So we're in the Globex trading hours here, and it went back to this area. Where I guess you could say that if I just held it past the close, I would have been more profitable. But I just cut the trades out here and here, right around at the 3100 level. I took way less than a 1-to-1 ratio. So this is one of those things where I just cut my trades pretty much at break even, or just to overcome a little bit of the commission fees. There were so many things that didn't really inspire much confidence. Obviously, you know, do I wish I could have taken my profit here? Sure. Or even waited until right now to take profit. Yeah, I would have made a few more bucks. But overall, this is today was a lesson of just dealing with a sideways market. It's just super tough. Going forward, I might not take these, knowing what I know now, learning what I've done, learning what I've gone through this week. I might not do this anymore unless I have a lot other pieces of data, other things in the environment that is going in my favor. And one of those things would be the RSI, which tells me the overall momentum. I'm probably not gonna take these breakout trades unless unless there's already an established trend on the hourly. For me, and this is going to be different for everybody, but for me, the trending time frame is the hourly time frame. And so if I'm looking at the hourly, you could kind of argue this is a little like there was a little bit of a uptrend before. You could say that, but now it's just lower highs and then lower lows, and it's more or less it's kind of consolidating like this. We're getting, whoops, that's not okay. That needs to be drawn better. Draw it from there. Probably a little bit like this. You can see that it's forming kind of like a wedge, right? And so once it hits this convergence level, something's gonna happen, right? So it's really better to just wait a couple of days, I think. But in the name of consistency and my dedication, I took the trade, and it was just more about managing the regret emotionally. And there was a ton of regret here today. The video today is titled "Winning is Losing" because today I had technically profitable trades, but overall it was actually a loss because both of these trades I only got like less than 4 points out of it, right? Maybe a little bit more than 4, like just like a like five or so points out of this. This was not a very good a profit zone at all. It was really my attempt at cutting my trades at something close to break even, so that I don't have to, at least I make back my commission fees or my trading fees. I wasn't really looking for a profit at all. However, yesterday I did take a trade that ended up being a loss. You can see this this arrow here, and this arrow here. No, that was a mistake that I entered earlier. Sorry. I'm looking at let's look back yesterday. Okay, so yesterday, if you were watching the video, I was on. I was more on a 5-minute time frame for this one. I took a trade that someone that I follow had put up as a short off of a novice. He was demonstrating a strategy to capitalize on novice moves, which was a short right here. Just a short version of the strategy would be, if you see like these breakout candles that come late, right? This is already a move down, and then you see a large candle, a large move kind of late into the trend. This is, this is typically novice traders doing a little bit of a panic sell. That's why the it's breaking down. So we shorted it once it bounced back into this level, and so this was the level I think we took right around here, like 99.90, right around there. Again, like I don't really care so much about precision. I don't care about that things going to the tick. I care about the practice and the process of actually executing this with sticking with the rules and not getting sidetracked. And so one of the things that I learned here was that okay, so I took the trade because I trusted the person I was following, and I don't know where the stop was. Even if it was right at the 10,000, we didn't hit it, and it started working out late into the overnight session. And right around here, I was pretty happy with it. I was like, you know what, it's 99.25 is kind of a big number in terms of just like if you follow the quarters theory, 99.25 would be a nice round number. Off of breaking off of the 10,000 is also a big number. So I just mark off these mental, like psychologically round numbers that a lot of people tend to gravitate towards. They tend to be a magnet set to price. You can kind of tell that there was a little bit of a pause here, and it attempted to break above, but it broke back down very quickly because this level tends to be pretty strong. So breaking below it should indicate something, and I coulda, woulda, shoulda moved my stop or something like that, but I was just letting it ride. I know my target was all the way down here. Obviously, you can see in hindsight that it didn't actually hit my target, and I actually didn't even end up taking a profit here. I just left it, and I actually got stopped out later on, like probably somewhere around here. Oh, right here. See this blue candle and that blue arrow? I actually got stopped out, which means I gave away a ton of profit. This was at least like, I only had one contract, but it was at least 100 points, which means it was at least $200. There was $200 of profit that I gave away. My risk here was only like 10 points or so, so I only really lost like maybe anywhere between $20 to $30 is what I actually ended up losing. But it certainly feels worse than that because I was in profit like $200. And so in hindsight, like, what could I have done? I wasn't gonna reach my assuming that I had a backup plan that I wasn't gonna reach my target of, I think I had put the target down here at 98.15. I wasn't anywhere near that when I paused. there's a couple of things I could have done in hindsight, and I just wasn't paying attention, to be quite honest with you guys yesterday. There's a couple of things. One, you kind of see like a double bottom tweezer formation here, or double bottom with this one and this one, and you can see that there's a level of price that it seems to have trouble breaking below, right? It just can't seem to break below, like right around this area right here between 880 and 870. I would say 9880, 9870. It just can't break below it. So there's people who would be like, you know what, I've made enough money, and would just cut the trade there, and book profits early. Booking profits early tends to be a bad habit to get into, because it can really snowball. Like, why wouldn't I just, if I only if I saw the trade working this much, why wouldn't I just book profits here, and then I regret seeing this further move down off this short. I coulda, woulda, shoulda held it until here. There's just a lot of the coulda, woulda, shoulda kind of conversation that happens in your head, or at least in my head. I don't know about you guys. That makes it very difficult. So, like, unless I have an external reason, an objective reason to take profit early, and kind of ignore my original target, just kind of like throw that out the window and be okay taking profit early, I need like a mathematical reason. I need like an objective reason to completely throw that target out that I just deleted, and to take it early, right? And without like being able to predict the future. Like, in hindsight right now, obviously I should have taken it like right here for maximum profit. But not knowing that, if this is all I see, there's a couple of things that I could have done. One is that there is a positive divergence here with the RSI, right? I'm just still learning on how to use the RSI tool. And so here you can see that the price made a low here, and then it made another low here. But if you look at the RSI corresponding to those two lows, it's actually the RSI is actually higher, right? It's actually in this case the RSI is 24, right off of this low. And if you're going to make another low, it should be something lower, or something. It should be lower than 24, but it actually isn't, and it's actually higher. That's one way to look at it, but that's kind of weak off of this time frame. The confirmation to that is right here when the RSI broke over 60. That is another sign, like right here, right on this candle right here, is when, right at the number that I said, right at the price that I said, right, is a nice round number. So there's two different reasons, like two different objective reasons to take profit early at this trade. Is the RSI going above 60, indicating that it's a possible bullish trend now instead of a bearish trend, and the fact that this number is this price is a nice round number that price likes to. If it's above it, it likes to stay above it. If it's below it, it likes to stay below it. And so there's two different reasons for that. The other thing that I learned recently, just today, is the idea of the blue and orange lines, as you see here. Right, this is something that I picked up today. It's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna start incorporating this more into my trading now, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. But I have to switch it up to a higher time frame, to a trend following time frame, which means I need to go to a 30-minute time frame here and follow. Where the hell is it? I think I lost track of my own trade. This is... Oh no, here it is. It helps to make the candles bigger. Okay. So the idea would be we would achieve almost the same kind of result. Honestly, it would still be the stop out at the 99.25, but for another reason. So it's like I potentially have 3 different reasons that I should have taken profit early, right around here. It's very difficult to say that I should have taken profit down here, because like if you only see this, like why would you not assume that it's going to continue to trend further? It's after this candle that that I would have needed to take profit. Why is that? Because if there's a close above the blue line after it's hit more than halfway, if it's traveled more than halfway to my target, which again was, down here. It was 89.15. So from this level up here, the 99.90, it traveled all the way to halfway. The halfway point is right around here. I'll make this a dotted line. So assuming, and I'll get rid of the number line. So once it crosses this threshold, the strategy is, okay, now that you're more than halfway to your profit, one way to protect the amount of profit that you've made so far is to incorporate these 2 lines. These are moving averages. One is the 8-period moving average. One is the 13-period moving average. You can see that it's offset by 1, so it's only taking the moving average of the previous candle. That's what the -1 means. And what that means, and the idea here is that once you're past this point, if there is a candle close above the blue line, you cut it. If it hits the orange line, you cut it. And you can tell right here that right here, this would have been a reason to cut the price right here. So there's multiple reasons to have taken early profit here. I didn't do it. This was at 11 o'clock last night. I wasn't really looking at it. I woke up this morning to find out that it was stopped. So this is something that either I need to eliminate overnight trading completely if I'm not going to look at it, right? That's one extreme way of looking at it. But if I'm going to bring in the overnight trading into my plan here, which I am not against, I'm totally okay with trading at night. There's 3 different ways I could have determined to take profit early and lock in some guaranteed profits. One would be the close above this line. A second would be the nice round number, the psychological number that I'm going to add back in here, the 99.25. Again, if you're not familiar with that, I'm not going to explain it on this video, but it's just a level from the quarters theory. And a third reason would have been the divergence here, or this double tweezer, double bottom type of formation. So there's a lot of reasons that I could have taken it. It's my own fault. I was not looking. I wasn't paying attention. It was 11 o'clock at night, and this was one of those things where I was just like, my risk was so small that I told myself that I would just let it go and see what happens. And when I woke up, obviously I felt some massive freaking FOMO about like, damn, I could have had, this was like 200, this was at least 100 points. From 99.90 to 98.90 is 100 points right there. A 100-point move is never something I want to, like, not for me anyway. Maybe other people think a 100-point move is nothing. But for me, a 100-point move is significant enough that I want to capture it every time. It's not something I want to ever give away. I know this trade was designed with, a very, very, very small risk, looking for like a ridiculous, crazy amount of reward. This was like a home run trade if I were to actually have hit this. But I'm learning that you also have to learn how to adjust along the way and just settle for taking a base hit, if you will. You could have taken the 3-point shot, right, with this larger move. But if the defense isn't giving it to you, then you gotta settle for make the extra pass or something and settle for a 2-point shot or attempt to draw a foul or something and go to the line, right? You gotta. That's what I'm learning, is that there's sometimes defense gets in your way, right? There's some kind of defense going on over here that got in my way, and I wasn't ready for that, and I paid the price for it. It wasn't that bad, but it was still a loss. And that loss, you guys, was much bigger. It was still small. It was only like $30, but $30 loss was still bigger than like the $10 gain that I made off of just cutting these at something close to break even. And so overall, I actually won 2 and lost 1, but technically that's still a losing trade because I lost more money than I won. So this is where the idea of the myth that people have about, hey, as long as you're always taking profits, as long as you're booking profits, you'll always win. That's completely false, especially if you have days like today where I took I took 2 wins at $10 each, let's say. And so I won $20, but I took 1 loss that was, $30 plus. So technically I lost $10. So it's not just the amount, it's not just the action of taking profits, it's also the amount of the profit that you take that is most important. So today was a losing day, despite the fact that I won 2 trades and lost 1. But overall for the week, I am doing pretty good. This was just a very sideways day, kind of an emotionally draining day, honestly, just because with all the choppy action. That about does it for the summary for today's video. We'll see what's in store for tomorrow, and I'll keep you guys updated as to how this week goes. If you have things that you'd like to see me do on these streams, then absolutely just drop a comment below and ask me any questions. If you have feedback on how I'm doing in terms of the stream or in trading in general, I'd love to hear it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna listen to you necessarily when it comes to trading, because there's a strict plan that I'm actually following. So, but I'm very curious to hear your comments about where you think where you think the market is going, and what questions you might have about how I treat this. I'm just noticing that this is this is trending upwards now, and I cut these 2 red arrows here indicate that I cut my trades a little bit early, right as the regular trading hours were closing, and so I am kind of regretting that a little bit right now. A little bit of FOMO kicking in. I'm kind of pissed. I really wish that I had held it, and then maybe in the overnight session I would have actually hit my target. Who knows? But hey, that's part of the game. And that about does it for today's video. Today was a losing day overall, and hopefully tomorrow things turn around a little bit and go more in my favor. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave any comments if you have any questions, or if you'd like to see me do something specific. Other than that, please make sure to subscribe